Good afternoon and welcome to the Entrepreneurs Live Show. I'm David Ortling, your host, and this afternoon we're going to do something slightly different from our normal interviews. We are extremely privileged to have the management team of the Novus Group with us. We've got Joe, we've got Michael and Aurelio with us today. Guys, I would love to welcome you. First of all, for something that we haven't done yet, doing a four-way interview, and also for just being absolutely awesome. And I'm looking forward to sharing your story with the public today. So welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome, man. So let's start off with Joe. Joe, would you mind sharing with us who you are, where you come from, and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Joe Hamman. Born and bred in South Africa on the East Rand. I started Novus Group about 6.5 years ago, almost 7 years ago. The reason I started it is I really wanted, I've been working in media monitoring for a few years, and I wanted to build something that was better than what was available at the time in the market. Media monitoring in South Africa doesn't have a very good reputation. So I really wanted to see if we couldn't build something that could elevate the industry as a whole.
Oh, that's quite awesome, Joe. We'll get back to that just now. Then we've got Michael here. Michael, can you share with us who you are, where you come from, what do you do?
Yeah, sure. How's it, guys? Obviously, my name is Michael. I joined Novus probably about 2.5 years ago. Started off in sales, and then got my hands dirty in a bit of operations, and then got promoted to CEO. Just on the back of what Joe said, we've got a great company. We've got a very dynamic team. We're able to make quick decisions, and we just look forward to contributing towards the industry and try to be as innovative as possible.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Michael, we'll get back to you now because I love it to see a young man like yourself in a CEO position. So kudos to you, my friend. We'll be back just now. Aurelio, my friend, please share with us who you are, what do you do, where do you come from?
So I'm Aurelio Pichilla. I work at Novus. I'm the marketing and communications manager. I come from various backgrounds, but mainly advertising. And I started at Novus when in sales, and approached Joe for the marketing position as we needed a marketing department. And I started at Novus about 1.5 years ago, and probably been for a year now in the marketing position and loving every minute of it. And just pursuing what Novus does. I really believe in Novus's principles and their future of how they want to develop certain platforms to help other brands monitor their media and their reputation. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. We'll get back to you on that now. Joe, please share with us the ins and outs of Novus. A lot of people won't understand what media monitoring is. If you don't mind, would you please share with us? Because I believe it's something that's quite important. Being in the media industry, I understand how important it is to make sure that everything is in place and everything is run smooth. So please, if you don't mind, share with us the heart of the business.
Okay, yeah, sure. So media monitoring basically involves us, maybe to give an example, if there's a big company in South Africa that's often mentioned in the news, so, someone like a Sasol or an ABSA or whatever, they have a whole media team whose job it is to make sure that the articles that are in the media are factually correct and that what the journalists are writing is true. So what we do is we actually monitor the media on behalf of these companies and then send them all the newspaper articles in which they were mentioned. Now, media monitoring has been around for about 30 years. It's not something new, but what has changed over the last 30 years is the technology and the platforms we're monitoring. So back in the day, they used to just monitor hard copy newspapers.
Yes.
But nowadays we do television, we monitor radio, we monitor Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So it's become more of a digital monitoring service as opposed to just monitoring newspapers. So what Novus does and what separates us from our competitors is all of the technology we use has been developed in-house. So all of the search tools we use, all of the platforms we monitor is something we developed ourselves. And what's nice about that is that it allows us to make changes. So let's say that there's a new platform that comes on air, we can quickly add it to our system, or if there's a change that we need to make for a client, we can quickly make that change. So we're not set in what we deliver to our clients. It's quite, it's quite fluid, if I can call it that.
I love it, and it's quite cool because not every client is going to be the same. There's always going to be changes, and there's always going to be new things. We saw Facebook constantly changing everything, and I believe you need to have your in-house team for that, because it's difficult to keep track of what I do because they don't warn you, they just do it. So yeah, exactly. That's quite cool. I'll be back with you just now, Joe. Michael, I want to touch on this. You are the CEO. I need to ask this question, and please don't take offense of it. How old are you, my friend?
I might be younger than I look, but I'm 34.
That is awesome. I'm asking this for a very specific reason. There's a big thing in the world that's always saying CEOs need to be your older people. And for me, it stood out when you said you are a CEO. I'm like, wow, that is impressive. So thank you for sharing that, and congratulations on that. That's a major achievement. Now, would you tell us a little bit more when you guys approach your clients, or do clients approach you, and what's your method how do you source your clients? Sorry for asking that, but it's just interesting because I know you guys don't work on a traditional method like I would work. I would go to a client and say, hey, advertise with me or talk to me. How do you guys handle that? How do you find your clients?
It's a bit of both. We do have a sort of a business development sales guys. They go out and they're like the hunters, and they'll look for new business. We're quite fortunate that we get a lot of referrals from existing clients, and we get a lot of good business out of our PR clients. So what happens with them is they'll sign up a new client, and then automatically that client will fall back onto us. So we kind of grow our PR customers quite nicely. We also we apply for quite a few tenders, government tenders and parastatals.
Oh wow!
If we're lucky enough, we get to we win them. You can keep them on board for up to 3 years, depending on how long the contract is. And then Joe is also pretty phenomenal salesman, and he grew the company from 0 clients up into what are we on now, Joe? Close to 700.
Yeah,
so Joe's got a really good name in the industry, and that's how our sales works.
Awesome. Aurelio, would you share with us a little bit of your marketing side? It's quite interesting that you said there wasn't a department and it was created. So obviously you guys also saw that, even though what you're doing is amazing and it's a necessary service, there was a need for marketing and sales. So share with us a little bit. What do you do? What do you do? Social media, how do you handle it?
I think there's a few variations. Obviously, when we went into marketing, it was starting from fresh and obviously starting from the ground up. And from there, we sat with the company where we put a plan together, and we thought, okay, this is our marketing strategy. How are we going to implement that? And also looking at platforms that are most beneficial to us. So we decided, okay, in terms of social media, I know a lot of people do a variation on different platforms of social media, but we said our customer base is more focused on Twitter and LinkedIn. That's where we will focus our attention on. So that's where we focus our attention on. And then in terms of how we put our marketing campaigns, we obviously strategically place them correctly and put in new launches of products. Novus is known now for one of the leading in media monitoring as a company to donate to charities, because we also need to give back, especially during being in COVID and the pandemic. A lot of people have taken a setback. So we've don't just post about our services, even though our services are incredible and our clients love our professionalism and our turnaround times. I think that's one of our biggest pluses. But we focus on launch of products, industry or statistical views. We also post on events happening, what was this or what was spoken about that. And then we also post on other what's the word? I've lost my tongue now, but other experiences that might be beneficial to corporations that follow us on our LinkedIn platform. So that's pretty much where we are at the moment.
Oh man, that's awesome. Now, Joe, if you don't mind, if you can just share a little bit with me, do you only cater for your corporate clients, or do you cater for anybody, any business? Is there a specific size the business needs to be? What are you looking for?
Yeah, we don't really, we cater for everybody. So there's no one too big or too small. I mean, some of our clients literally pay us to monitor one keyword, and then some of our clients pay us to monitor thousands of keywords. So there's no client too big or too small for us. We sort of treat everybody the same. What we obviously try and do is, we do try and say to clients, because, sometimes a client will come to us and say, they want to track one word or two words. Then we'll suggest to them if there's other words that we feel we should add to give them a better service. But again, there's no client too big or too small.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, guys, obviously what I want to do is also for you is give you guys the opportunity to share with us where people can reach you. If it's possible, do they go to a website? Do they contact you? Do they need to contact Aurelio and his team? Do they contact Michael? Who do they contact? So I don't know who want to take this, but if you guys want to do it, please do so. Let's share your details where people can get hold of you. And we will take that details, we'll take it and put it into our video, put it in the end of the video, also into the comments so that they can get hold of you. I personally know from the media side, I would like your service. So I'll be contacting you afterwards also, because this is how you create perfect content to make sure your business stay ahead. So guys, I want to offer this to you. If you want it, please share your details.
So they can get hold of us. We are at marketing@novusgroup.co.za, and they will get a response in the same day of assistance. So if they want to get hold of us, it's at marketing@novusgroup.co.za.
Awesome. And can I find you on social media?
Yes, on LinkedIn. So it would be Novus Group Pty Limited on LinkedIn, and then it's at Novus Ltd on Twitter.
Awesome. And I do believe, because I remember seeing your website also, would you mind sharing that details with us?
It's www.novusgroup.co.za.
Awesome, man. Now, I want to ask each of you, if you don't mind, would you give us each just a short message to entrepreneurs out there? Because all three of you sitting here are extremely excellent entrepreneurs. Just a word of wisdom and encouragement for entrepreneurs out there. We know it's tough times, we know it's hard times, but just something that you feel you want to share with the public.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been doing this now for 6.5 years. So I left the safety net of a steady job to start my own business. In hindsight, what I would have probably suggested to someone is, a lot of people tell you need to be prepared and you need to save money and whatever. But I think at the end of the day, you've just got to commit to your decision. If you decided that this is what you want to do, there are going to be good days and there are going to be bad days. The same as if you work for a boss. But the difference is here, at least if you do it for yourself, you've got the ability to change things. So for example, if there's something I didn't like about the business, it's easy for me to make that change. And that's probably the thing I enjoy about it the most. But yeah, so in a nutshell, I'd say people just have to commit to their decision. If you've decided to do it, then really do it, don't mess around.
Yes.
And then, and then remember why you did it in the first place. Because I think, like I said, there's going to be good days and bad days. But I think if you remember why you started it in the first place, it makes the bad days a bit easier.
That's awesome advice. Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak on behalf of a couple of people that I know and friends of mine that have started their own businesses. And I think one of the most important thing is to sort of keep focused, because, you know, it's never easy starting in the beginning. You face a lot of roadblocks, you know, right off the bat. I think a lot of people just see the end results and they think, oh, you know, you have your own business, so nice. You can, you know, people always think that you're always successful, but they don't realize all the groundwork that gets put in the beginning. And, you know, it could take years before you start seeing good profits. So yeah, just keep focused, keep working hard, and then maybe just remain humble also.
That's awesome. Very awesome advice. Aurelio, what would you say?
So I would say in order to grow, we need to get out of our comfort zones. I think once we're in our comfort zone, we never grow, because we just we just repeat what we need to do. And becoming an entrepreneur or starting your own business is not an easy thing. And I've seen firsthand in family doing businesses. I mean, it's taken 7 years in order to see a small margin of profit. So I agree with Joe. I think Joe and Michael kind of summed it up, but I would always say the number one thing in becoming an entrepreneur is always have passion, always be humble in what you receive. You don't think you're ahead of anyone else. And I think those two, with passion and belief and being humble, will make you grow in what you really believe in.
Oh man, that's absolutely awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Joe, I appreciate your time, especially because I know you're extremely busy, and I know with your family and everything, you sacrifice a lot to be here today. So, my man, thank you for that. Michael, Aurelio, thank you very much also for being on the call. It's quite awesome to have you guys. And yeah, absolutely, it was amazing to have you guys. And then, guys, from there on, I also advise you guys, the public, to go out there, go and look at Novus Group, go and look at what I do. I know a lot of our readers and a lot of our listeners is involved in corporates. So go and have a look and go and use this, guys, because this is something that's going to change your business, change your method of doing it. And by doing things like this, you are giving yourself an advantage that other people don't have. So take that advantage and go and contact the Novus Group. Guys, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Listeners, viewers, see you tomorrow for another awesome interview, and do not miss it.